For to say, hey guys, it's Claus. Welcome back to another video. Let's watch Kuo, Jersey Devil, in his M6A2E1, the mutant. He's going to have a great game. We're going to enjoy his game. I'm going to try and do some commentary for you. I just got off the, not the phone, the FaceTime, you know, the video call. I just called my parents. I haven't seen them for a while with all this crap that's going on in the world. It's always interesting chatting with the parents. I'm going to have to make some time to go back and visit. And we live on you guys know, right? They live in Ontario. I live out west. It's a 4-day drive, or I can fly, but everything's so different these days, right? If I want to fly back and see them, I have to go through an airport and get in contact with people, and they're getting old. They're 80, and I don't want to get infected with something and show up and visit my parents and get them sick. So I've got to drive. I have to do it this summer. I know it's going to be a long way. I'll bring my camera and I'll do a video. But I talked to them, and my mom's feeling a little bit in the dumps because she's getting less and less mobile. She's complaining that it's difficult for her to move around. You know, they just moved to this condo. I did the video about me helping them move. Wasn't that fun? And everything was going great. You know, they had because they had a house, but then they downsized. They moved to this condo, which is in this complex that has like a clubhouse with a gym and a pool, and they were getting really active. My mom was going out and using the bike machine and the rowing machine, and my dad was doing the aquasize, and they were just having a merry old time. And then all of a sudden everything closed, and it's been closed all winter, and they've just been cooped up. And of course, my mom is not using the bike machine she's getting lazy and sitting around all winter, and now it's spring and feels weak, and things still aren't opened, and it's just it's grinding on them. They're kind of everyone's going through it, right? It's just enough is enough. They're slowly going to open there, hopefully with some cautious rules, and I hope they can get active again. Not that it slowed my dad down. I was talked to my mom for a bit, and she's kind of feeling down. But my dad, he's never affected by anything, right? It's spring now, and his big news was the asparagus are sprouting. He has a secret spot where he goes to pick asparagus, because why buy it in the store when it grows for free out in the in the wild, and in the wild meaning he's in Toronto, and it's one suburb north of the last. So he's got this secret spot that he took me to once. He has to get on his bicycle. He's 80. He gets on the bicycle, and it's kind of like a mountain bike. He goes down this trail and across this narrow bridge and down this big ravine until he gets to this stream that he has to cross to get to. There's a lot of asparagus on his side of the stream, but the good stuff's on the other side because it's the way the sun and the soil. I don't know, he's got all this stuff worked out. But it had been raining a lot in Ontario, in his part of the world there. So the stream was, usually he just kicks off his shoes and walks across, pulls his pants up, rolls them up on his knees, and walks across, and then picks the asparagus barefoot, and then fords the stream back and rides back, right? He hops from rock to rock if the stream's low, but it was really high. It was like in flood, so he got all the way there, and because of the rain, the asparagus was really it looked great, and he could have picked the stuff on his side of the stream, but he said, no, look at that stuff over there. He took off his shoes, but the water was, he's telling me this, right, on the call. He's going, yeah, I took off my shoes, and the water was, I just went in a couple of feet, but it was really deep, so I didn't want to get my pants wet, so I took off my pants. And I started going across, and I realized that the water was really strong. So I came out, and I found a nice tree, and I broke a nice sturdy branch. It took a while for me to pry the branch off this tree, and then I used it as a bastone, he calls it, to help me. So he's like Gandalf, the wizard, holding a club, prying himself with the club downstream, bracing himself on against the raging current, and he's fording the stream. He's hung up his pants on the little stub of where he broke the branch on the tree, And okay, the water's getting deeper and deeper and deeper, and he got his underpants wet, and it got like waist high, raging torrent. But he had the stick, so he didn't fall, and he made it across. And it got all wet because the water, when it hits him, it started splashing up. It got his face, his shirt wet. So, but that's okay. That's okay. He then picked 4 huge shopping bags full of asparagus growing wild, and then he tied the asparagus, like plastic bags, tied them together so that the 4, by the handles, filled with this, and put those around his neck, and forded his way back. And he said it was easier coming back because the weight of the asparagus helped him with gravity, and he got a better grip on the gravel, and his feet didn't slide out from under him as much as he forded his way back. And he got back, but he was soaking wet, and so he thought he'd just rest for a while. He took off his shirt and hung that up to dry, and decided to rest for a little while. And it was shady there. He was a little cold, so he had to walk to the edge. It's a little bit of a forest where the water was rushing through. He had to walk a little ways down to a nice sunny spot in a meadow. It wasn't very far, he said. It only took him 10-15 minutes. So he's tromping through the forest on a path for 10 or 15 minutes in his wet underwear, holding the asparagus. He said, I left my clothes back there to dry, but I didn't want to leave the asparagus in case someone came by. They would have taken it. So he gets to this meadow, and he's as a jackrabbit that he is, he did tire himself out a little bit, and then he lay down on the warm grass to soak up some sun. He used the bags of asparagus to kind of as a pillow, and he didn't realize it, but he fell asleep. And he woke up when some people showed up. They were going to have a picnic at this spot, and they saw this 80-year-old man in his underwear, huddled up with Safeway bags of asparagus under his head. They thought he had shoplifted the produce section. Well, he didn't stick around to, Mommy, there's an old man there. He's in his underwear. And he got up, he got the asparagus, and then he started heading back into the forest. And of course, this is my dad that can't remember his PIN number to access his bank machine. He forgot where he left his clothes. So he looked around and started wandering through the forest, making the mistake of leaving the path, wandering around, thinking, I should have saw them because my pants were bright green and my shirt was white. I would see the white shirt in the forest. Everything's brown and green. I should see my white shirt. And he realized after a little ways of wandering around that, well, wait a minute. The shirt should be near my secret asparagus spot, right? Because that's where I left it, where I crossed the stream to get to because it's a secret spot. But he had never come to that spot from the meadow. He had only ever accessed that spot from where he parks his bike at the bottom of. So he knew that the ravine starts at the high ground, and he knows the path to get down where he rode his bike. So the only way he could find his clothes was to, through the forest, go uphill. I know if I go uphill, I'll eventually get to the top of the ravine, and I'll be able to find the path, and then I can walk down the path where I rode my bike, find my bike, and then the stream will be just a couple of 100 yards ahead. So he tromped up through the woods to the top of the ravine, which is like a subdivision in Toronto, in his underwear, carrying the asparagus bags, found where the path starts, walked down the path, found his bike up against the tree where he had locked it at the edge, walked down the path to where he fords the stream, and there were his clothes. He found them. See? I knew where they were. I just had to go a roundabout way. But unfortunately, he had left them hung there, and it was shady there. That's why he went to the meadow to warm up after getting all wet, and the clothes were still wet. But that was no problem. Just put the clothes back on wet. So he's got wet pants, wet shirt, wet underwear, carrying the Safeway bags, puts the sandals back on, gets on the bike, rides like Lance Armstrong all the way back to the condo. When he arrives, he looks like Tom Hanks did in Castaway, with twigs in his hair. And but those asparagus, the fresh ones are better than the ones in the store. Like we're gonna have asparagus now for the next couple of weeks. You can't buy stuff like that. And I'm listening to this, he's telling the story as if nothing, just matter of fact. Yeah, well, it's fine. And we washed the clothes, and they're fine. Boy, I'm gonna have to go back. When the water drops, there was a lot more to pick out there. If we can eat these 4 Safeway bags, if we can get through this 26 pounds of asparagus, there's a lot more out there. I'm getting worried about them. I'm gonna have to go back and if I go back and visit, I'm gonna drive back there and visit, and he's gonna take me. Let's go see if there's any left. Someone's probably found the spot and picked them all now, but let's go, and I'll have to go with him, right? And now he knows that stick he used to ford the Gandalf staff that he made in the woods. He didn't just throw it away, right? He carried it and now secretly has hid it near his secret spot where he has to cross the river to go get the asparagus. He's put it on the ground and covered it with some grass and leaves, because if he goes back, he says, if I go back and I have to cross that river again, I'll have a stick. Because now it's his stick to get across the river. And that's what they do. That's what, that generation. It's just the way it is, guys. It's just the way it is, The new generation, they have an app, and they get the skip the dishes app and have some fucking crap delivered, right? The one time I mentioned skip the dishes app to my dad, he had no idea what I was talking to. Why the hell would you want to skip the dishes? You're going to leave dirty dishes out? Are you nuts? Wash the fucking dishes after you eat. So, long story short, I do have to go visit them and see for myself the Gandalf staff and the river that has to be forded, and pick some more asparagus and help my mom. Hopefully they open up the clubhouse and she can get back on the 80-year-old woman on the rowing machine. She's feeling out of sorts because she can't. I haven't been on the rowing machine for 3 months. Oh my. Okay. And that's what's on my mind today. I hope you guys are doing great. I hope everything's going great for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or evening or morning or wherever you're from. Thank you so much for being here to share my my thoughts this morning. Let me know. Let me know. Oh, by the way, what's this guy? Jersey Devil. Way to go. You had a good game. We missed it, but hey, it's just a video game. Get over it. Have a cookie. Leave some comments. Let me know how your loved ones are doing, whether they're your parents or your kids or your grandkids or your little puppy. Let me know, and subscribe to the channel to help grow this Clausian cluster that we have going. Me and you guys every morning.